don't think any of you were. So Shelley may notice I've got the same clothes on as I did yesterday. I didn't have to really tell on myself, but I am, so yeah, but oh well, I didn't sleep in them at least, so I didn't sweat in them too much. All right, so let's first just find our beautiful expression of our mountain pose, right? Where we feel so connected to the earth. We feel so balanced. If we drew a line and took a line and cut through our bodies, right now everything would seem like it's very symmetrical, very balanced and weighted evenly here. Our hands are just letting the weight of gravity pull down. That helps us pull our shoulders down a bit. Our feet are feeling parallel and nicely connected to the earth. And really, this balance is about your whole body, but it is about what part of our body connects to the earth, right? And generally, it's our feet. In this class, in this session, we will take a little bit differently where we have maybe different parts of our body connected to the earth so that we can work into that variety of weight distribution, okay? So yeah, just sitting up straight and tall, and you feel your feet connected and grounded, and you feel your sits bones and your seat connected to the seat, right? And so that will be different depending on our anatomy, how much meat is there to sit upon as well. So let's just start to lift our arms up to the side here. And let's shift, leave the sits bones where they are, leave your feet where they are, just shift from waist up over to one side and look over that opposite arm out through those fingers. So we are taking our balance a bit off of center, and we're also taking our gaze in a different direction, which will also affect balance. Slowly bring yourself back into center with your head connecting forward again. Then shift that body weight over, connect with feet and sits bones, and look over that opposite hand that is extended. Find your breath, helping you focus on that balance. Keeping knees forward. I know my knee, when I come over this way, my knee wants to drift too. Keeping my feet centered. Bring my body back here. And then notice what happens when I take my arms up. I'm feeling back into that centered balance again, as I did when I was in mountain pose. We are now in extended mountain pose, sometimes called upward salute. And then exhale your hands all the way down. They come in, they let the fingers drift on back down. And now I'm going to take my body to the side. Let that hand drift. Maybe I have a block. Hand can come onto the block, or I bypass the block and I keep letting myself come down. Keep the feet planted. Keep the sits bones planted. But notice part of my weight, a big part of my weight, the head and the whole torso now have come over to the side. So it takes strength for me to hold my body suspended in air this way. Now, take that upper arm and bring it up straight. Notice how that shifts your body weight. Okay, one arm up, one arm down. Keep those sits bones planted. See if you can take that upper arm over a little bit more. Maybe you're bending into the elbow, but you're still releasing a little bit more to the side as you press into your feet and sits bones. And then lifting up, slowly rising up, coming back into that shift of everything. Arm floats down, being balanced, symmetrical, equal, sort of, right? Because right now I know my one side feels a lot more open than the other. So I'm going to drift this opposite hand down. Again, if you want to rest it on a block to keep yourself from still pulling over, or if when you come down, you feel this sits bone lift, press it back down. The other arm rises up, fingers first towards the ceiling. So I'm really extending here. Press into your feet, you guys. Press into those sits bones. Find that nice opening in the side body. Only if you can keep your feet planted, knees forward and sits bones down, do you shift a little more weight over with that upper arm. Focus on those sits bones. Focus on your feet. But most importantly, focus on your breath. Good. Rising up slowly from that. Notice the shift of your weight, how it affects your sits bones, your feet. Hand comes down. Find neutrality. Find balance. Find your breath. Good. Now we're going to take our weight over again. Let's go back to this side. So come on over, and we're going to now shift the opposite leg out. So again, we're really taking ourselves into more of an asymmetrical positioning. This hand, again, because I don't want anybody falling off your stool, can hold on to the leg. You can have your hand on a block. Whatever and wherever you are, try to extend through that leg. This arm comes up. Look at all of that weight now that we're pressing over here in this side. Pressing through that extended leg helps me from falling over and off my chair. Inhale, lift yourself up. Arm comes down. Foot comes in, leg comes in. Find that nice neutrality, that nice balance. And then extend the opposite leg out, pressing into heel, lengthening that leg. Other block may assist here, or you're using the side of the leg of your chair. Hand rises up, fingers straight, and then shift more body weight over. Keep active in this hip, in this leg, or else the body weight will take us over. So when we fall, for instance, sometimes we do that because we're not paying attention, right? Or racing through something, and our body becomes imbalanced. And the part that's supposed to have kept us up isn't doing its job. Go ahead and lift yourself up. Exhaling, hand down as your leg comes back in. So far, we really kept our sits bones grounded. Now we're going to come off of those sits bones. So we're going to be even less weighted down. So go ahead now and take that opposite leg out. Take your hand on a block, high part of the block, send it outward a bit. Press into the bent legs, hip. Keep bringing your body over. Send yourself off of that sits bone. Maybe your hand comes behind you to hold on here. Find where you can put your weight over here on the block. Where is it going? It's probably not even on this other sits bone. It might be more on the lower part, maybe up on that back of the femur bone. Only if you want to try lifting this foot up, you can do that. And exhale it down. Especially if you're holding on back here, that helps doing that. Let's do it one more time if you want, or just stay really over here and off of that sits bone. Good. Let's take ourselves back up. find neutrality again, right? So what does that feel like to be totally balanced? I might have to readjust my sits bones some. So I find that with a couple breaths, because that's a lot of weight bearing too. When I'm doing that, I'm weight bearing most of the whole torso of myself and half of my lower body. I'm gonna come on over here again on that block, extend my leg out. Let this arm come out. The hand maybe reaches behind on that chair. And in doing that, I stretch and open my chest a bit. Stay here, you're lifted off of that sits bone. Maybe you need to bring yourself over a little more. Only if it feels right, press into this foot and lift off the other one. Exhale it down. And we might not do that, all right? You might just lift a little bit or not at all. And exhale it down. Good. Bring yourself into neutrality. And the more we keep reminding ourselves, building that muscle memory of what it feels to be balanced, right? The more we can bring ourselves back there. Good. Now we're going to work on moving and shifting our body weight forward. So let's go ahead and take a block or two in front of us. One foot stays grounded. I'm going to come and slide over to one side of my chair a little bit more, and that leg is going to come back, right? So find how that might work for you. Maybe your knee's bent. That's okay. If it's bent, you can put a block down and really just let yourself be on that block. Or you can extend that leg back. Okay. So we're only on one hip, right? And again, Shelley, how does that feel to put a block underneath it and support it?
Well, I don't.
And you can have that block reach at any height. Okay. I think
It doesn't feel bad not supported.
Okay. Well, if you're good, then that's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't reach.
All right. So let's go ahead and extend or bend. You choose. But you notice we're only on half of that chair. Okay, so you're basically setting yourself up for what a warrior one would be. All right. Do you feel like you're on that chair and you're not going to fall off? Okay, good. Oh no.
No,
I
don't feel like I'm falling.
Okay, good. All right.
Is that the goal?
Yeah.
I'm bent though, right?
It's okay. You can bend here or you can extend. Either way. All right.
Oh, there it goes.
Extending isn't a have to, it's an option. One hand can stay on the chair. Again, the more places of contact we have, the more balance we have. Or, and that other hand can come up, all right? Strengthening here, or you might lift both arms up. And now we shift that body weight forward. This takes abdominal strength. Keeping your biceps by your ears, or just one bicep by your ear and the other on that chair, you guys, all right? So that we can lengthen, we can keep a long spine. That looks beautiful, Shelley, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Just have to take a break.
And then bring yourself back up, inhale. And exhale down. Good. Strengthening, balance, and lengthening. All right, let's go ahead and do the other side. Woo. And bringing up a little heat also, at least I am. Because this is a kind of a cold room in here. All right, so we're on one cheek, right? And I don't mean this cheek, okay? This cheek, one hip, the other knee comes down, and I can support it with that block, you guys. All right, and that's great. Or if you want, you can extend the leg back, and that can be great as well. Your hands can be right here for now as you set your body up, making sure that it's comfortable. We're not digging in to an area we don't really want to dig into, right? And we're here. One hand can stay down, the other can rise up, or you take both up, or you take it into cactus, and we lean our body forward, right? With straight arms are bent, and we find the strengthening that it takes to do that, to hold my weight on the ball of my foot, on the back, the whole sole of my front foot. Knee bent, extending, and then lifting up, inhale. Exhale, take my hands on down and bring myself back into a state of neutrality. The war is over, okay? We're in our neutral position here. And we are gonna take ourselves up off of the chair here in a moment. Good. Lean forward at the edge of your chair. Take your arms forward, right? Someone's pulling those arms forward. You're resisting. Okay? They're pulling, you're resisting. They're pulling, you're resisting. And now they pull you out of your chair onto your feet. Feel the strengthening with those bent knees. And then you begin to rise on up, to lengthen those legs out. Lengthen, inhale, look up. Exhale, take your hands down. Let's find standing mountain pose now. So let's talk about standing mountain pose and what that means. Our body is most balanced when our feet are parallel, when our feet, ankles are directly under our hips. So that can be different for each one of us depending on how wide our hips are, right? Now, notice if I take, go ahead and take and lock your legs together. And notice how you start to sway. I do at least. Because this is not natural. And I can stand here still, I'm not falling over, but I'm swaying because my feet are saying, hey, this is not the natural place for them to be. So I'm gonna go ahead and take them back out and feel that more even connection, that more stability that's acquired when my joints are balanced. All right, now we're gonna do a little bit of standing, similar to what we did seated and shifting our body weight. So go ahead and take your feet more than hips distance. So Shao, I'm gonna take your chair off so you can be on the mat. It'll probably be better than you won't be the slidey, yeah. So you don't wanna be slidey here, you guys. So if you have a mat, great. Otherwise, just, carpet may help you to not be slidey. Go ahead and take your feet out, right? We're gonna do something you're real familiar with, and that's 5-pointed star. Do you feel balanced here? Even with our feet farther apart than our hips, this is really balanced because our feet are still parallel. And we could cut ourselves in half and we're pretty symmetrical. But now let's go ahead and shift this way. Keep shifting, keep shifting. Let that hand come down, that shifts us more. Let the other one come up, that shifts us more. Let it come over, and maybe here to our shoulder, and that shifts us even more. And we're still fully planted with our feet, right? But our weight has distributed in a different way. Bring yourself up, take your arms out. And let's do the other side. Just redistribute that weight. Someone's pulling over there. You say, yeah, well, I'm not really having a balance. Not really too much yet. I want you to notice weight distribution. Let that hand come down. More weight comes over. Let your arm rise up or to your shoulder. More weight comes up. And the more weight that comes on one side, the more we stretch in the other. And only if it feels right, your arm can come over You just bend the elbow and touch the back of your head. Feel that stretching, lengthening, and slowly come up and out of that. Let your hands come down for a moment. Stand in this wide-legged position. And then take your arms on out. And take one foot, turn it. We're going to come in and out of warrior two, but we're going to do it with shifting our weight, okay? Arms come out. Bend into the knee of the toes that turn outward. Find your distance where you feel really connected to the earth. And where your body's centered, right? So we're not being pulled into the future or held back in the past. We're really feeling ourselves balanced. And now we're not symmetrical though, are we? Because this knee is bent. So we're asymmetrical. And we're gonna let our bodies come over here. And I'm going to rise up on the ball of that back foot. And I've shifted body weight. Do you feel yourself kind of going back and forth? I know I do. Shifting, maybe taking one arm up and one arm down, only if you found the balance where you were. And arms, and we do this slowly, because I do it quick. Ooh, I'm gonna come off balance, right? Go ahead, back onto the back of that foot. Lengthen that front leg. Toes are still out, but we've got it long and extended. Now, take one arm back. Come onto the ball of that front foot and let your arm come back, right? Find where now your weight is distributed here and on the ball of that foot. But so much my weight's coming back, but I'm trying to balance the weight distribution. Come on back, heel down and toes in. Good, all right. And these hips are so important for our balancing, right? Because they're right in the middle. They're trying to make sure that what's happening here and what's happening down here is well coordinated so that we don't lose our balance. Okay, let's take the other toes out. We're gonna do the same thing. Arms will extend. So we've gone from symmetrical to a little bit asymmetrical with the foot out, to even more asymmetrical by bending into that front knee, extending and widening to the place that feels right for me, okay? And now pulling myself forward, even into more asymmetrical, more weight distributed forward. Lift if you want and can off of the heel, okay? And maybe the shifting onto the ball of your foot there. Only if you want and can, you can shift one arm down and one arm up. Taking those back, straight out, solid, muscle to bone, heel drops, leg lengthens. Good. Pull back, weight distributes on the other side. More weight already you feel on this back leg, right? Go ahead and come on to the ball of that front foot. So just lift the heel, really. You can't come too much under the ball, but lift the heel up, press into the ball, shift your arms over, this one down. Feel that engagement into your calf, into your shin muscles. And then bring yourself up, take that heel down, bring those toes in, symmetry again, and then walk your feet in, heel toe them in, and let's pick up each foot, taking balance here. If you have this going, where you can feel like you can balance by lifting up a knee, let's go ahead, lift up one knee and one arm, the opposite arm comes up, bring it down, lift up, good. And just practice that as a balance piece. Notice how your body weight is shifting. Notice what we need to do to make this happen here. One more time each side. Good. All right. Let's do a little bit with our hips, opening them up, and then we're going to do a little bit of dancing because we haven't done that for a couple of times. So let's go ahead and maybe bend into your knees a little bit and let your hips go round and round. That's one thing. To be able to move your hips a little bit more, take some bend into the knees. And let's reverse, going in the opposite way. And before we do a little bit of dance, let's dance to the beat of our own drum. So taking our feet out, and let's take the feet, toes out, heels in, arms lift, inhale. And exhale, bend into your knees, right arm under left. Come here, 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 here. And go into your Seaweed Asana. And find how your weight distributes when you just move shoulders, arms, elbows, knees, up, down, in, out, around. And like I said, moving to the beat of our own drum. We are very, very much, most of us probably moving very asymmetrically, right? We're not trying to necessarily do the same thing on one side as we're doing on the other. And just finding release and relief. Squat it down. Take it up, straight legs. Exhale, releasing those arms. Let's do that again. Rise up. Exhale, left under right. Yeah, good. And arms come together. Find your squat and find what you have left to do here. Do you want to try coming off of heels and working back and forth? You want to stay really planted. You want to rise up, down like an elephant. This trunk, just whatever it is. Flowing, moving, getting our heart rate up as well. And exhale, squat it down. Rise up, inhale. Exhale, release. Woo, arms come on. Exhale down. Good, all right, let's do some salsa. A little bit of salsa, a little bit of shifting our weight, right? Back and forth. So we can't have music because it would sound really weird for you guys, but I will try to count, okay? So let's just first kind of walk with our hips, right? So I'm walking with my hips, yeah. So left and right, picking up my feet as I do that. Right, so just kind of getting in to those hips, the knees, the ankles. And now let's go ahead and take that salsa rhythm. So 1 foot forward, right? We slightly pick up that back foot, place it down, foot comes back. The opposite foot goes back, this foot picks up, place it down, foot comes back. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Rest. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Right? 1, 2, 3. Shift. Weight. Back. 6, 7. forward, 2, 3, good. Back, 6, 7, yes. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. What do you want your hands to do? What do you want your arms to do? What do you want your hips to do? Okay, let's do it now. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Good, on your own. Go like you're out on the town. And one thing people forget is to take that rest. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Good. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. One more set. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Good. And that doesn't take a lot of balancing, but we are shifting our weight. We're taking one foot off the ground, taking it back, placing them together, feeling very stable, and one back, lip shift. Come back and forward, okay? Now let's do that left and right, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, exactly. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So now weight is shifting left and right instead of front and back, right? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Work your hands and arms. 5, 6, 7. Work your hips. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Looks good, you guys. 1, 3, boom. 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Shell. 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. We got to get the bend in the knee. 2. Or the hips won't move. Remember? Talked about that. 3. Let's do one more set. 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Good. Now we're going to do 4 sets forward and back, 4 sets left and right. Okay. And then you guys will just take about a minute or 2 and just move the way you feel like. Okay. So let's go ahead and forward 4 times, front and back, back, left and right 4 times. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. What do you want your hands to do? Let them get a little bit crazy and creative. 1, 2, 3. Let's go to the side. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Shake it. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Do what you want. 5, 6, 7. Mixing it up, shifting that body weight just the way you want. 6, 7. 2, 3. Getting creative. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Count to yourself. Mark and I, when we were taking dance classes, I feel it, he counts it. And that's the musician in him, right? And this, me just feeling it, is my genetics, I guess. I don't know. Let's go a little bit longer. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Good. All right. Very good. You guys look good out there. Yay. So hopefully have your heart rate up a bit. And let's go ahead and get the chair for support. And we will have the high side by us. And yeah, so that's probably a good idea to do that. And let's go ahead and work on those calves and the balls of the feet, since we were balancing on those earlier and those stretching Warriors, we did the warrior 1, stretching back, seated. We did warrior 2, standing. Let's just get up and down. I'm gonna go this way so I can face you. We'll come up and down. Okay. And trying to remember that that chair is not glued to the ground. So we're not putting a lot of weight, pulling it towards us at all. Any weight would come straight down. Maybe taking one hand up as I do this. Maybe both hands up, right? And finding, maybe if I take my arms out, does that challenge my balance more? If I rise them up, does that challenge my balance more? Can I take my gaze somewhere else? And that challenges my balance more. The balance challenge, hand come down. Walk that out of bed. Let's take ourselves into a long spine. So walk back here, long spine, my tailbone is out, right? Lengthen here, high on the balls of your feet, bend slightly into your knees. Lengthen your legs, heels come down. High on the balls of your feet, bend into your knees. Lengthen legs, heels come down. One more time. Heels off the ground. Bend slightly in the knees. Lengthen legs, heels come down. Let's take one foot right under our gaze. Okay, so that foot's under our gaze. The other foot's going to go back. And let it keep going back as long as you feel you're able to find that distance between your 2 feet and still maintain a straight spine. And then bend into the front knee just a bit. Bend into your elbows just a bit. Shift your body weight forward and come onto the ball of that back foot. Holding on the chair, pressing downwards, okay? So elbows are bent. We're in this little one-legged kind of forward squat. Only if you feel like it, try to lift that back leg up. That is not easy. And then shift body weight back. Arms lengthen, front leg lengthens, and we exchange those legs. One foot forward, the other one back. Bend into your elbows, shift weight forward, come onto the ball of that back foot. Maybe you're only on a toe, and you might just pick that foot up quickly. Wow, so yeah. Or hanging it up high. And release leg long. Both legs walk in. Find yourself close to that chair. Is anybody sweating but me? Whew. You have some visitors. Oh yeah. Doing something with the door. So I haven't come in yet, so maybe they don't need you. Hi, you guys, there's somebody at the door here. Okay, let's take our hands here, and we're going to make sure you don't have anything by you to stub your foot or toe. And let's take our leg across and bring it out. So we're working on hip, and you can keep both hands on the chair, or you can begin to lift one arm up. As you do this, we have fewer points of contact if we lift one arm up. Maybe that arm comes down and the other one lifts up. Is there more balance when we have the same arm lifted as the leg that's moving, or more balance when the opposite one is up? And both hands down, both feet down, walk it out a bit. But I think they're going to give us a better, more sturdy something door, since that was broken out a couple weeks ago, last week. All right, let's do the other leg, okay? So let's go ahead and take it out, swing it back and forth. And I'm coming on the ball of my foot, and that keeps me from stubbing my toes, and it gives me a little more freedom of movement here. And again, do you want to try taking one hand to the center of your chair, lifting off of the other, and that's hard to do if you are on the ball of your foot. And then maybe switching out. And letting our legs come down. Feeling some strengthening in there, walk it out. Hi guys, you need to do something, we're in a class, but come on in, there's something that needs to be done.
I just don't know exactly which other ones they want measured, because they said ones with chips.
Okay, I would go around to the office.
Okay.
They will direct you, you can come in here, that's not a problem.
Okay.
Just find out from them. All right, guys, all right, let's go ahead into
She's
some.
not my personal trainer. Although it feels.
Well, maybe, right, today it seems like I am, so.
Well, he doesn't know there's 3 more people on there.
On the Zoom, yeah. All right, guys, let's take it to the short part of the, ladies. I don't know, I always said guys, even when I was a kid, it was always guys, guys, guys. Did you do that too?
I still do it.
Still do it, yeah. And what are some of the other words we used to use that we still use? Wow, neat. I'm always saying that too.
No,
But groovy, I used to like the word groovy.
I loved it when I learned que pasa in New Mexico, or in Indiana.
Que pasa in Indiana? Oh, wow.
Que
I
pasa.
didn't know any Spanish when I suffered taco when I was in Indiana. That's my experience. Okay, let's go ahead on to that chair, right like this. We're gonna do some lunge work, which will help us with our balance, strengthening and stretching, okay? So take your, let's go left leg back onto the ball of that back foot, all right? See how I'm on the ball of that back foot? Then bend this front knee so that it is right above your ankle. So find that you might need to separate the feet more or less, but you're on the ball of that back foot. And I'd like you guys to raise up as high as you can on the ball of that back foot, and then let the heel press back. So we can stretch into the back side of that leg. Rise up as high as you can. And it also will assist us. Come on in, it's okay. Sorry, guys, it's all right. And
So this was the only one.
it's also going to assist us in
Yeah, I got that.
finding that balance when we're working
So there you
on
go.
things here. Sorry, you guys, there's some people in here and that's okay, but just so you know in Zoom land what's going on. All right, and then from here, let's find ourselves settled into the ball of that back foot, into our front leg. Your hand can come one to the thigh, and maybe one rises up. Or one on the chair and one rising up. Or both staying on the chair. If you switch and you cross your center line of body, that's going to kind of confuse you in your balance. So now if I want to try that, I cross my left hand, left leg's back. My left hand crosses to my right thigh, and I try to lift my right arm up. All right, working on this, you should feel strengthening happening in your hips, your thighs, your glutes. Hands down. Bring that front foot back and stretch out, exhale. So we're in a down dog here. So what we just did, take it step by step, or keep your hands on the chair, okay? No suffering here. And I know you're saying, why didn't you tell me that earlier? Go ahead and bring your left foot forward. You're probably okay where that right one is, or you might need to push it back a little bit more, okay? And so I'm working into stretching into this hip flexor, the whole back side of that leg. And I'm just going to keep my hands here on the chair. And I'm gonna rise up high onto the ball of that foot and then press back into my heel, exhale. Inhale, rising. Exhale, taking it back. Inhale to rise. Exhale, taking it back. One more time, inhale. And then settle into that heel behind you. Stay right here, you guys, because you're going to balance here. You're going to strengthen here. Or you can take one hand to your thigh or leave it on the chair. The other hand stay on the chair, or little by little, you see what that feels like to take that hand off the chair maybe and raising it into cactus, onto shoulder, onto hip, rising just above the chair, anything, any place. And if you want, switch that out, cross that center line. I'll tell you a story of how I had a good crash on my bike one time. Oh, it was really ridiculous, but it was all about shifting my weight. Take both hands back, bring both legs back, exhale. So I had a new bike, this Schwinn 10-speed bike I was so proud of. And then high the balls of your feet, just bring yourself forward into a plank here, strengthening here. Exhale back. Had a boyfriend, a new boyfriend in this new high school. Just do a few more planks here, exhale. Bring yourself back. And we were riding our bikes to school. And I was cold, and I had a new outfit on, my seersucker turquoise pants and my turquoise turtleneck. God, I remember that day. And go ahead and walk yourself forward. And so I'm riding my bike, right? That takes a lot of balance to ride a bike. We know that from when we learned. And I decided I was cold, so I'm gonna take my hands like this on the steering wheel. The steering, is that what we call it? Handlebars. And so I put my hands like this, and my weight didn't know what to do. And I just spun out and crashed. My bike got messed up, my knee got messed up, my pants got torn. But that just crossing over confused my mind and how to balance that weight. So our bodies have ways of telling us just what feels right and what doesn't. Let's go ahead and take our chairs again and come into them into a seated position. Ooh, come to the edge of your chair. Take your hands to the front sides of your chair. We're going to do a little bit of balancing here on our glutes, on our tailbone area. I'm going to hold on here. You may want to take your spine all the way to the back of the chair. Okay. Holding onto the seat of the chair or holding on to the legs of the chair. I'm going to first take one leg off the ground and come into a half boat here. Your leg can come a couple inches off the ground, straight from your hip, rise above your hip. Depends on how open you're feeling. But just holding here, do you feel that strengthening happening in your core, in your quadricep, even with our back up against the back of the chair? And then go ahead and lower that leg down. Let's do half boat on the other side, press down into your foot. And the other one comes out into a flex position, halfway up, or however, quarter of the way up, 3/4 of the way up, or your foot can be directly up over your shoulder. And let's feel that connection, muscle to bone. Feel that in your core. Exhale down. Good. Hold on tight. Take your toes underneath your chair and open up the ankles here. And let your body come forward just a bit. So you really feel that opening of the ankle. And then take both feet forward and swing them under. Inhale and exhale. And with your back up against the back of the chair, you may not feel it too much, but if you take your fingers, hands off at the side, you're gonna feel it more. If you take your fingers into your abdominal area, you can feel the muscles engaging here. And you are gonna be stronger. And go ahead and stop, sit up, and you're gonna be more balanced. Because balance, as I said, is the whole body, but this core area is really vital for it, for you to feel balanced and secure when you're on any point of contact. Okay? Let's sit up straight and tall, finding our points of contact on the earth as we started class. Maybe our points of contact now have hands on our thighs rather than fingers hanging downward, sitting more in a hero's pose here. Taking a couple full, slow, deep breaths. Getting our heart rate back into its functional, operational, normal state. Coming into homeostasis here. Breath, blood pressure, pulse. Taking our hands down, swinging them up, inhale, look up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Bow down to your true teacher, you, yourself, your beauty. And